Oh.
You didn't. Hi, I'm Ren.
And I'm Ken.
And welcome to our show. This is an Eternal Evolutions video. And today we're on Ken's account, which is how many days old?
3.
3 days old. And he's already made just so much progression. And he's a grinder. He's a hit it harder. I'm more of a casual player. So it'll be very interesting to see how fast it takes him to catch up with me. And I'm guessing it won't be long.
I hope so. But I will say you can hit it hard in the beginning, but if you're not spending money on extra resources outside of what they give you in the beginning, I've gotten as many promo codes as I can find, but it seems like the promo code Cornucopia that was available for people before Christmas,
which I received all
right. That is all dried up now.
Yeah, a lot of expired ones.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot coming out. They now, since I've started, they've released like 6 or 7 different promo codes, which is great. Most of them being for the new year or Discord promo codes that they released in the last couple of days. But they're doing a good job. But I definitely missed out on a lot of the promo codes from before Christmas and during Christmas and things.
Right. Like, I so wished you had been able. It was just a time constraint. He wasn't able to start during.
Yeah, I just can't do it during Christmas. There's too much real life stuff going on.
Exactly. So he missed out on all the amazing events we had at Christmas. And he's still a raid player. He's still playing. I'm occasionally logging in to collect some things, but you're still playing raid.
Yeah, I'm still doing my dailies and doing clan boss. I'm not burning energy like I did before. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing basically now, but most of what I'm focusing on that is non-energy type things that are just farming clan boss and different things of that game. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about some Eternal Evolutions.
Yeah, let's get back into the game we both really enjoyed since we started playing.
Yeah, after just a couple of days of it, I really enjoy it. It's so much easier to get started. It's easier to get going, and the progression. The way you progress in this game, I like a lot more because you can make mistakes. Mm-hmm. You can test things out. You can try different
and it doesn't cost you money.
Yeah, and it's so easy to equip and unequip gear because it's all free.
Yes.
And they have functions that equip all and unequip all and things that you can use. It's really quick and easy to change things up, to try something new, and then if you don't like it, go back to what you had or whatever, because the resources just change hands basically as you reset things and put them into different champs. But I will say I haven't really reset anybody yet. I've been considering it, but only because when I started,
such a great feature.
Yeah. When I started, I sort of had in mind, because I'd already played with Ren's account and I'd already watched a few content creator videos on...
Namely J-Gig, shout out.
Yeah, on the game. And I was kind of familiar with some of the champs and who was good on different things. And I also like dragons. So I decided I would focus on Karma and Sorietta.
That's excellent.
Which are both very usable throughout a lot of the content, especially getting started. But now, after playing for a couple of days, I've actually gotten, Daniel and Ravenna, and I'm thinking, well, I would love to focus on these Triple S champs instead of the dragons that I've been kind of focusing on for my damage. I was thinking about maybe going there. But really, when it comes down to it, I think I'm going to continue focusing on the epic or the lower tier champions and not the Triple S. Right in the beginning. I want to try to evolve them a bit before I really start focusing on them, because you really don't need to evolve champions a lot in order to make them functional.
Right, especially Triple S.
But you can evolve the lower tier champions more often, especially in the beginning, than you can the Triple S. And what I was thinking then is that I'm going to be stronger if I focus on champions that I have access to, that I can farm shards for, that I get in different packs and different things that are free or that are coming along as you play. And so that I'm sort of thinking, instead of trying to focus on a certain style of team, I'm just going to stay with sort of who I got going. The good thing about this game is that you can just put people in the inherit and they level up automatically. Right. You don't have to go and level them up too and try them out or whatever. And just test things that aren't necessarily focused with gear and opening up as much as I can in their talents and different things like that, because I don't have the resources, especially when it comes to upgrading gear and even having gear.
Right. It takes a while to accumulate that.
Because that's what I'll say. A lot of, the progression is really good and easy, but if you try to spread yourself too thin too early, you're just not going to have enough gear to work on more than 4 or 5 champs until you've spent a couple of weeks farming the Dessa Caves and, getting into that, doing things like the Rift missions and things to get pieces of gear and whatever you get from different, daily activities and things. You really need to spend some time in Dessa before you can kind of branch out and do more than 5 or 6 champs at a time, really. And like specific types of gear. I've been able to...
Which is an awesome healer I didn't get till much later when I started playing. You got her first day?
Right, because I spent a little money to begin. I got the pack that you get if you spend money immediately that has her in it, and I started focusing on her. I'm also planning on, as I go, doing the purchasing on the certain days on the 30-day login, like right there, and right there, and the other spots where you have shards of her.
That some are 15 fragments, but this one down here, this last one is 30. So, I mean, this is a copy of her right here.
Right. If you do the recharge. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend money on those days in order to get that free recharge to get more shards for her. And I'll spend the money on the packs that have shards with her in it, and I think they are not there. Where are they?
There's a lot of things.
Special pack, I think. Yeah, right here where you can get for $2. You get some shards over as well. So that's what I'll do to really focus her in the first 30 days and get her well into evolutions so that she's very strong out the gate.
And we have very few healers in this game. Lyra and Serena and Mesrani are the only 3 at the moment.
Right, but they are adding a new one that we found out just about today.
Because we need healers, and that is something that is lacking. But to get her so early and to get her evolved, I think it's very good strategy working on Artis and her first, because you got your healer, you got your damage dealer right out of the gate.
Right, and tank too. Artis makes a good tank in the beginning. And so, it's the base of every team. You're going to want a tank and a healer. So, it's pretty good for starting off. What I've really tried to focus on in the beginning is just working as far through campaign as I can get, as well as working on the soul mine, going through that. I joined a guild when it was available. I just joined a random one. I don't know if they're going to be any good. I don't know if they're going to do much of anything at all. But, I'm going to do whatever I do here, and then we'll see how it goes within the next few weeks, whether or not the people in this guild are, working hard and doing things.
Okay, so let's just take a look at your clan boss. Let's run a clan boss. You need to do that anyway.
Okay.
So who's in your team? You've got Carmel.
This is the team that I run and everything, basically.
Okay.
You've got Artis and you've got Serena that we talked about. The 2 dragons that I've been focused on with Serena and Carmel. Yeah, and then Omar. Omar is somebody else that you get copies of early on during events and things. So I said, well, that was sort of what my choices ended up being for who I focused on, was who am I going to be able to evolve more easily within, what I'm going to get in the first part, get a strong team set up that can run a lot of different things, and then branch out from that on who I end up getting, as I play for the next couple of few weeks to see who I want to really, branch out with and do what I do. But yeah, it looks like we've got something in here that we can assign.
You've got a nice commander. You've got prototypes. You've got a epic prototype already. You've done some work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've played quite a bit and really worked at trying to make them strong, but it's now what I'm running into, within just after the first few days. It's easy to level up characters, but the problem really becomes gear. Because you can't farm high level, you can't, progression in Dessa Caves is where you farm your gear in the beginning, is it's sort of a very slow process in the beginning because you've got to.
Look at artist up there, just fighting by himself.
Continue. I don't want to spend a lot of my resources on doing Disa Caves stage 2 or 3 because it's not really going to get me anywhere a week from now. It's only going to get me somewhere today or tomorrow. And I want to be able to save those extra resources of running those extra runs in Disa Caves and things, a little rainbow rockets or whatever you want to call them to give you to let you in to do Disa.
Stamina, I believe, is what they call it. Okay. But I always call it energy coming from raids and stuff like that.
Well, I think they look like little rainbow rockets.
They totally do.
That's what I'm going to call them.
I'm going to call them that too now.
But, I'm going to save those until I can at least clear stage 10. And so progression through is going to be very slow. And I'm hoping that I can focus on 5 for a little while at least to try to get some extra champs and to get my team a little bit more and, directed towards that because I'd like to level up Taylor. He's very strong in Disa. And I'd like to level up or gear up, Ravena to get her going in there as well because she's pretty strong.
Just a slight interjection here. I just want you to know that, up until not that long ago, my highest clan boss chest was 11. Remember when I was stuck on 11 forever? You were helping me play through, and this is your 3rd day, and you're already getting 11 of these. But continue.
Well, and again, that's because when I started, I focused in on this team. This is the only team that I've really.
Which is a smart strategy for people. This is your core team in your inherit area,
and that's what I've been focused on. And these have carried me in the beginning.
12, dude,
to get things done.
That's incredibly
good. And I believe with you and your inclination when you play play these games is you spread it around.
I do. There's so much to do in this game. I love to just go and do different things, work on different champions. And that was an issue with me in Raid with books is, I don't know if you guys have played Raid Shadow Legends, every character needs a boku of books to do all their skills. And my inclination was to make sure everybody had at least one book they could use. And that's not a very efficient way to go about it. You just...
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
And so in this game, I just want to make sure that, everybody has some gear, a little bit of gear here, a little bit of gear there. Whereas you are very focused in on efficiency and what's going to get you to progress. Because you played games forever. And
right.
I'm still a newbie.
And it really does, because there is such a small amount of stat gear that you want to put on each character. There's different, stats for especially the gloves and what do you know?
Oh, I changed it to ×2. It was on ×1.
Oh, gracious. Yeah, you need to run it on ×2. But there's such a vast array of different stats that you can get on gear for gloves and for boots and for the helmet that it's difficult, especially in the beginning, to get things that you need on champions. Like for your tank, you'd like to get HP. Defense is also good. For your damage dealers, of course, attack is going to be good.
But then I will
Crit rate maybe down the road, but in the beginning, attack is much easier and easier to focus.
I'm still doing okay on my team, but for a long time, and this, up until really I got a lot of good yellow epic gear, I just used Equip All and was going through things.
Right, and that you can definitely do. They do a pretty good job as far as putting
maybe early on
gear, but early on you really don't need those specific stats for the characters to get the job done to clear the first few stages of the different dungeons and things like that. But eventually you're going to want to try to focus those stats for what they need. And that's getting to be the difficult part now because where I'm just focusing on a certain team, I'm looking for those stats. And so
you did a new record.
Right. And what I like to see about this and what I'm glad that they put in this is all of this blue gear is basically going to be used as leveling up and forging your gear that you have along with those blue tokens there that I got 37 of. So
nothing just really goes to waste.
Right.